Well, good evening everybody. Welcome to the Coliseum here at Plymouth on an overcast evening. There's a little bit of rain in the air, but mainly a dry day here down in the Ocean City, so the track in good condition, ready for action tonight. It's the Gladiators taking on the Scunthorpe Scorpions in the Cab Direct Championship, and it's going to be a rare home meeting for the Gladiators. They were last here in the championship section on the 24th of May, so quite a break. And it's going to be a test tonight because the Gladiators have come up to a situation where, unfortunately, their talisman captain, Ben Barker, has gone down with an appendicitis. He's ruled out of the meeting and for a couple of weeks to come for sure. And Nikolai Klint, their tall-scoring Dane at #1 in the order, he's away in Poland today. So a guest rider, Kyle Howarth from the Glasgow Tigers, who's in good form, comes in to take the place at #1. Also a change down at the bottom of the Gladiators side with Ben Trigger being stepped down from the team, and Czech rider Daniel Klima, a Grand Prix wildcard rider, coming in at the #7 berth, and that could be quite an astute signing for the Plymouth side. Over with the Scunthorpe boys, well, a solid 1 to 7. They haven't changed all season. They currently sit 7th in the league. Plymouth down at the bottom in 9th, but with meetings in hand to catch up, it's going to be a close one. There's no doubt about it. Scunthorpe do ride this track quite well, and so we're looking forward to a really entertaining meeting here in Devon on this Saturday evening.
Okay, thanks Rob. And we are in the pits end with new Gladiators signing, Daniel Klima. Welcome to Plymouth. Are you looking forward to your first match tonight?
Hello, thank you. Of course, I'm looking forward. I'm really excited and I'm really enjoying this place. It looks lovely and everybody is friendly.
Now, obviously, off track, it's been a big week for the Plymouth Gladiators with those changes, with you coming in. It seemed to happen really quickly. So talk us through the process. All of a sudden you're signed and you're here. It was a quick process, wasn't it?
Yeah, it came pretty quick to me. I just told to Pavel in Prague that I just looking for some team in England to take more experience, and we started looking and just came to me in, I don't know, maybe 1 week, and now I'm here.
Meant to be.
Yeah.
Meant to be. Now, we always say this to a lot of riders that first come to this track. It's a different track, especially compared to those in Poland. So you've had a chance to walk it, you've looked at it, you spent some time with Mark the last few days. What are your thoughts?
I thought it will be much smaller than it really is, so looking good, and I spent a whole day here today looking how Mark prepared the track, and we will see later.
I think you're the only rider I've ever heard say that it's a lot smaller than you thought it was going to be. Anyway, it's a great track. What about your team? Do you know many of the riders that are your teammates tonight?
I know guys just from videos I looked at home, but everybody's fine here, and I hope they will accept me in their team, and I hope I will make some points for them.
You'll be accepted, that's for sure, and we want you to have a great, safe night, but go fast, score those points for us, and just have a great debut tonight for the Gladiators, yeah?
Yep.
All right, stay safe, ride fast.
Thank you.
Captain of the Scunthorpe Scorpions, Simon. Big meeting tonight. Both teams are level pegging, really.
Yeah, obviously it's been a lot of talk and speculation about the weather, hasn't there? But we're all right at the minute, so yeah, obviously you got a good guest in Kyle, and obviously unfortunate about Ben. Looking at the averages as well, he's quite low in the averages, so that might help us a little bit. But yeah, we're full strength, but I think it's the same for both teams really, just lack of meetings, you know, and not rid for 2 weeks, and a lot of the boys are the same, and who gets the gating gloves on first.
That's right. Now, when you came down here before, I think you'd have just gone into reserve. You're back into the main body of the team again now, so your form must have taken a step up yourself?
It's rolling average rubbish, isn't it? You know, you are what you are, really, is the way I see it. But yeah, not had the best start to the season, but overcome that now and had a few good scores and on the up. So I think everybody who knows me knows I'm better than what I've been doing, and I'm a lot more capable, and I'm on a bit of a steal of an average, really. But it will probably reduce with these rolling averages no matter what we do. But it is what it is, you know. I don't really care whether I'm reserve or in the team. Like, I haven't been in reserve for probably 4 or 5 years now, and obviously that's progress. So we want to sort of stay in the team. number 2 tonight, not number 3. I've held my own at number 3 really, but not many people like number 2. I don't mind it away from home, so yeah, it is what it is, you know. I don't care, I just want to ride my bike and try and score a few points and go home safe. 2
weeks off of the bike, does that play with your mind mentally as well, or do you just want to get on that bike and get going?
I'm not going to lie to you, it'd have been nice to have been on my bike somewhere before coming here. It's very different sort of track this, you know, to most, but it's like when you ride a push bike in it, you don't forget what to do. But yeah, it's that thing in there. Some of the other lads perhaps had 3 or 4 or 5 meetings in the last couple of weeks, whereas me, Stevie, Connor, Jake, the Kennedy boys, we had 1. So it is what it is. Just the way the Speedway is at the minute, innit?
Now, I spoke to Garry May off camera, and he said that he thinks that the top 3 in the league are pretty much looking to be solid. So everyone now that got a chance of gunning for that 4th position. So we're just entering that phase now, where we all start to tighten up a little bit, and just it starts to play on the mind a bit.
End of the day, we can all go out and do our best, and that is, you know, as long as we all go out and give 110, then the rest sort of speaks for itself. But yeah, I think your top 3 is Glasgow, Poole and Redcar, you know. But I think Edinburgh, underdog team. Had a couple of signings this year in Palaroff, or whatever his name is, and that Grattan. They've not been bad signings. You know, big improvements on them, and they could be the underdog team, but then anything can happen, you know. I just seen, unfortunately, Eric Riss had to take a break from racing today on Facebook, seen that because of his health from last year, reoccurrence of that, so that might affect Redcar, and who knows, you know. So, but listen, you know, we're Scunthorpe, we want to make them playoffs, we don't want a short season, so tonight's a must-win really. I think Workington away, Berwick, places like that, we've already dropped points at home, so we've just got to get a finger out of our butts really, and 15 good eats and try and get no last places.
Now, pretty sure that Rob's going to be watching this meeting on the live stream, so take a look into that camera. You got a message for Rob?
Hope you made plenty of money today at your stock cars, mate, and missed a nice long trip, and we'll send you all a big bill when we get plenty of points tonight, mate.
Big bill, lots of points, that's what's on the agenda for the Scorpions. Thank you very much, Simon.
Cheers,
ride
guys.
safe tonight and ride fast.
Thank you.
Time now for tonight's team lineups here at the Coliseum. Starting off with the home side, the Gladiators, Plymouth Gladiators, with Carl Howarth stepping into the number 1 slot, guest rider tonight in place of Nikolai Klint. At number 2 is Alfie BOWTELL. Number 3, rider replacement in operation for the unfortunate Ben Barker, who is out with an appendicitis problem. Number 4, the tall scoring Joe Thompson here at the Coliseum. Number 5, the impressive Norwegian Lasse FREDRIKSEN. Down to reserve berth is Mitchell Cluff, the Aussie, and new signing Daniel Klima comes into the side and 4-point average at number 7, with Garry May, as usual, team manager for the home side. For the visiting Scunthorpe Scorpions, experienced former England international Steve Worrall will open their order on a 7.13 average, back this year after having to miss out last year with illness. Simon Lambert at number 2, who we've heard from, he's going to skipper the side at the 2nd position. Declan Kennedy, one of the Aussie brothers, comes to number 3, with the ever solid Connor Mountain riding at number 4. The number 5 position taken by heat leader Jake Allen, and the impressive reserves for the Scunthorpe Scorpions, Luke Harrison, the young Englishman, at number 6, and Zaine KENNEDY, the brother of Declan Kennedy, and a rider who's been to the Coliseum already a couple of times this season as a guest. He'll be at number 7. Team manager, former England international David Howe. And let's pass over to the pits area. The coin toss has already been made, and Gladiators won that. They'll take gates 1 and 3 in heat number 1. Just looking down the Scunthorpe side and across now to the Gladiators. In shot, the new man is Daniel Klima. Very interesting to see how he goes tonight. Next door to him, Mitchell Cluff, Aussie first season rider, finding his feet. Lasse FREDRIKSEN doing so well for the Plymouth side this year. Joe Thompson also on good form. Missing at number 3, Ben Barker. Alfie BOWTELL captains the side at number 2. Up front at number 1 is Kyle Howarth, guest rider tonight in place of Nikolai Klint. So there we are, that's the preliminaries completed. and the riders take off now to do their usual lap of the track just to get the feel of the circuit and get those final adjustments made before we go racing in heat number 1. Gladiators are currently sitting at the bottom of the championship, but with only 4 matches completed, there's plenty of time for them to make up ground on teams above them. The Scorpions in 7th, well, they've taken 5 meetings to get there. A little bit of a mixed bag for the Scorpions, normally so strong at home, but hasn't worked out that way this year. 1 win, 1 draw, 1 defeat. So Scunthorpe have labelled this meeting here at the Coliseum tonight as one that they must win if they're to get their playoff hopes back on track. And they come to the Plymouth side a little bit under strength, tracking new blood, and maybe there's an opportunity there for the visitors to register that all-important win that they're looking for. We'll soon see, because once the riders have completed their preliminaries, then it will be out on track with heat number 1. On Gladiators TV tonight, we're a little bit under strength. We've got some of our crew missing on various other commitments, so it will be myself, Rob Dyer, taking most of the commentary through the evening, but we will cut over to the pits from time to time and see if Mattie Bates can find 1 or 2 of the personalities to look at and have a chat with. There's the portrait of tonight's SCB referee, Christina Turnbull. A bit of a change from last weekend when she was in Poland taking charge of European Team Championship matches, and the weekend before that, of course, she was at Worrall in the just SGP Grand Prix. So varied life of a Speedway referee. Now some pit shots there of the Scunthorpe boys just before we get going. Fine-tuning those last-minute adjustments and alterations, and David Howe there, the experienced team manager, talking to Luke Harrison, one of the younger element in the Scunthorpe side, and a lad with a bright future in the sport. You can contact us in a number of ways. Those are perched on the screen there. With the World Wide Web, of course, Plymouth-Speedway.com, Facebook.com/Plymouth Gladiators, on X/Plymouth Glad1, Instagram.com/Plymouth Gladiators, TikTok.com/@Plymouth Gladiators, and the good old email is admin@Plymouth-Speedway.com. Garry May, the man with the job of getting his programme changes in order tonight, with rider replacement in operation for Ben Barker. Got a feeling that the reserves for the home side are going to have a bit of a busy time of it. Just looking at the averages in the programme, it does appear that Ben Barker's rides can be taken by Lasse FREDRIKSEN, Alfie BOWTELL and the reserve riders. Here's the new man, Daniel Klima, on screen. Plenty of assistance going in there. I wonder if he's seen a track this size before. I'm sure he's normally used to the bigger continental circuits. He's riding only in the Czech League this year for the Prague side at the Maketa Stadium. So that's a big track, and this one is a little bit different to that. Just a reminder, please, that the copyright on tonight's stream is owned by Gladiators TV. Any reproduction, sharing, posting or illegal distribution of the content in any form without permission will result in the said account being closed down and blocked from all future Gladiators TV broadcasts, along with other associated channels on this platform. So we're ready to rock and roll in heat number 1, and Carl Howarth, the first one out to show on track, just getting a little bit of mechanical adjustment, and there's Simon Lambert in shot, the vastly experienced skipper of the visitors. Alfie BOWTELL being pushed away there, ready to head towards tapes in heat number 1. Very shortly we'll bring up the full lineup for you on screen so that you can see who's going to go where. Last minute tweaks for Alfie, and away he goes. So here comes your full lineup for heat number 1. And from the inside starting gate, blue helmet it's going to be Alfie BOWTELL for the Gladiators. Next door to him, in yellow for the Scorpions, is Simon Lambert. Then gate number 3 in red for the Gladiators, Kyle Howarth. And gate number 4, the rider in white for the Scorpions, is Steve Worrall. So there we are. That's your setup for heat number 1. Gladiators go up to Scunthorpe next weekend for the return fixture in the Cab Direct Championship. So both sides, of course, will be looking to strike an advantage here tonight ahead of the return fixture. So Simon Lambert nearest on screen there, just gathering his thoughts, as it were, ready to go racing in heat number 1. And Start Marshal just encouraging the riders to come to tapes. Simon Lambert obviously thinking that Alfie BOWTELL is a little bit too close for comfort. Start Marshal doesn't seem to agree. BOWTELL tries to find a new spot to launch himself to bend 1. So after the jiggery pokery, riders ready, Start Marshal moves away, green lights on, tapes are up, and away they go to the first corner. And it looks like Carl Howarth, who's made the best of the Outstein spare, and he leads Steve Worrall down the back straight in heat number 1. Alfie BOWTELL tucks into 3rd place, Simon Lambert at the back. Gladiators sitting on an advantage so far. And the dust is rising already here at the Coliseum. Plenty of water has gone down, but obviously not quite enough to keep the dust really at bay. But as racing progresses, Carl Howarth leads it out for the Gladiators. No problem for him. Steve Worrall there moving a little wide on bends 3 and 4 to try and find some drive, but Howarth's got the race well under control. And down the back straight for the last time and round bends 3 and 4. It's going to be a win for the rider in red. We'll call them home. Red, white and blue, we think, but maybe Simon Lambert snuck up on the line. We'll have to wait for the official call there from the referee to give you the outcome on that one. What looked like a potential Gladiators advantage may well have been stolen away by a sting from a Scorpion in the shape of Simon Lambert. Let's wait and see what the official result tells us when that is produced up on screen for us. No doubt about the winner, though. That was the rider in red. That was Kyle Howarth for the Gladiators. Second place, safe second for Steve Worrall in white for the Scorpions, and doing the job on the line. Great stuff from the captain of the Scorpions. It was the yellow helmet of Simon Lambert that picked up the 3rd position. Alfie BOWTELL, 4th place, no score. So it's 3-3 after the first race here at the Coliseum. And first blood, if you like, to the Scorpions, because it was Simon Lambert's good efforts that secured a shared race. We've got the riders coming out on track now for heat number 2. Riders coming up to the line. Gate positions swap over in this one. And it will see the Scorpions taking gates 1 and 3, the Gladiators on 2 and 4. Across the gate in white, gate number 1 for the Scorpions, Luke Harrison. Gate number 2 in red for the Gladiators, Mitchell Cluff. Gate number 3 in yellow for the Scorpions is Zaine KENNEDY. And gate number 4, first ride on this track in official competition for the rider in blue for the Gladiators, Daniel Klima. Heat number 2. And the crowd there in attention of what happens on the track, and it does look to be a good turnout here at the Coliseum tonight. It's been a threatening day, overcast with a little bit of drizzle in the air from time to time, but touching wood, that drizzle and rain has stayed away, and we're okay for racing right the way through this evening. So just wait for the riders there to get themselves settled down. Starting Marshal encouraging all 4 to come to tapes, and that looks to be just about where they are at the moment. So engine noise rises Green lights on, tapes are up, and away they go to the first bend. Mitchell Cluff in red looks to have made the best of the drops there, and he's away into a clear lead. Daniel Klima has found a way through into third place, and it's Luke Harrison who is in rear position. So Cluff leads Kennedy, leads Klima, leads Harrison round the first lap, and Cluff look to have a fair advantage now on Daniel Kennedy. Nice tight lines from all the riders, not allowing any opportunity for inside passing. So a lap to go. It's Cluff leading out Zaine Kennedy. Daniel Klima, tight line again. He's close on the tail of Kennedy, but if he's got enough speed to pass, I don't think so. They'll come off the final corner. We can call them home. Red, yellow, blue and white. Red, yellow, blue and white. No doubt about the outcome that time around, and it's an advantage to the Gladiators there. Fine win for the race winner in red. Out of gate number 2 was Mitchell Cluff. So first blood, true blood to the Gladiators as they come across the line, and we can see the official result of heat number 2. It looks like this, a win for the rider in red, Mitchell Cluff, for the Gladiators. Second in yellow for the Scorpions, Zaine Kennedy. Third in red, blue for the Gladiators was Daniel Klima. Luke Harrison, your fourth finisher. 4-2 heat advantage to the Gladiators, 7-5. The Gladiators lead after 2 races. And here's your race winner, carrying the flag, back to pits. And just a chance to quickly see them away from the tapes here in heat number 2. It was Mitchell Cluff who made the best of the drops there, as you can see, as he hit the first bend. Daniel Klima looking for a run around the outside. It took him past Luke Harrison, but that was as far as they managed to go. And after that, it was a little bit of a processional race. Plenty of line hugging there from all the riders until the track settles a little bit more and maybe some dirt onto the outside. We've got the tractor out grading at the moment, and as you can see there, the crowd well stacked in the rear rows of the NHS stand here at the Coliseum. Great facility, this stand that was put in a couple of seasons ago. Very popular, very comfortable as well, having had the pleasure of sitting in there a few times and watching some racing. Over to the pits, and I think in a minute we might have Mattie Bates on hand to give us an update on what he can find. So over to Mattie.
So as we take a stroll down pit lane, the Gladiators are currently up 7 points to 5 after 2 heats. The track's currently just being watered with the rain that could have been forecast today. They've held off a little bit with watering, but if we zoom in, we can see there Heat 2's winner, Mitchell Cluff. It was a great ride from Mitchell. Since dropping down to the reserve berth, he's really sort of found his feet, and you can see week by week he's growing in confidence. See Lasse FREDRIKSEN there, who also having a great season. Started at number 6 at reserve berth, but as you can see on his back now, riding at heat leader. So we can see there the newest signing. His debut tonight is Czech rider Daniel Klima. Come third in heat 2, but a fantastic ride from him. Obviously never ridden this track before, but looked very, very stylish and looked like he had a lot of pace. So you can see his mechanics there, one of them being Martin Nucky, former rider. Looks like they're... Can't see that they've changed this up. Looks like they're shortening the bike up just to make it drive a little bit more. So, but no, he looked very, very capable on the bike, and moving forward, it's a good promising start for the young Czech. See, they're struggling a bit to get the wheel in there. See Lasse FREDRIKSEN there, but no, it's been a pretty good start to me. In the it's two quick times, 53 seconds, both races. So it's quick times tonight, which is good. As we look into the Scunthorpe pits, you can see there Connor Mountain. Simon Lambert looks like he's making some carb. I'll have a look, see what he is doing. Oh no, he's changing the engine sprocket, maybe a little bit loose. It's very rarely you change those, in fairness, unless they break. But no, very good ride from Lambo. He made a pretty good start, but had pace throughout the whole race and just managed to nip Alfie BOWTELL on the line. See there, Stevie Worrall obviously brother of former gladiator Richie Worrall. He's good start from Stevie. As always, you know, pretty consistent performer, very stylish on the bike, very professional as well. You see there Declan Kennedy getting ready to go out for the next heat, Heat 3, with his brother Zaine next to him. She had a very good ride in Heat 2. Obviously, Zaine's ridden for us a couple of times this year as guest. So, obviously, that's going to play dividends a little bit tonight, and he'll probably pass that knowledge on to his teammates. See over there, Luke Harrison. Looked quick in Heat 2. Obviously, come last, but he didn't look like he had pace. So, you can see there they're altering the time in on the right-hand side of the bike. You know, maybe bike spins a bit more, maybe, you know, a bit more drive. All sort of depends, really. Obviously, with the bit of water that's going down on the track now, that could significantly change the track conditions a little bit, but for the better. But so we'll see there Connor Mountain getting ready to go out in Heat 3, and he'll be off gate 4. So Dan Kilmer didn't make a bad start off 4. It's obviously with the slick conditions, it is a long way to get across, but Connor Mountain is a pretty decent gator in fairness. So if anyone could do it, he's probably certainly one of those riders that could. You see there Joe Thompson getting ready for the next heat, along with Mitchell Cluff, who looks like he'll be the RR for Ben Barker. And on that note, we wish Ben well if you're watching, Ben. But yeah, so getting ready for Heat 3 now. Pit gate's just opened. See a few last-minute changes. Mitchell Cluff's got his clutch cooler on. You see there Lasse FREDRIKSEN taking it all in. Last-minute words there from team manager Garry May. Say it was a very good ride and a good win for Mitchell in Heat 2, so he'll want to try and repeat that. Say he had a very quick time. He was only 0.29 off Carl Howarth's winning time in Heat 1, so good start from the young Aussie, and I'm sure he'll want to keep banging in the points tonight. It's obviously quite a warm, humid evening tonight, so getting his Nicky Pedersen on there with the fan. So helmet's on now, so the boys are getting ready to go out for Heat 3. So everything looks pretty peaceful down here. So a few little changes gone on, but obviously that's expected. But yeah, see, you can just see there the clutch cooler is on the engine just to make sure the engine's as cool as the clutch. Obviously with this humidity, the engines do run at a hotter temperature, so it's important to keep them cool because we don't want any of them going bang. But no, it's all looking very relaxed down here in both camps, to be honest. Scunthorpe riders look pretty relaxed, and as did the Gladiators. See there Garry May. Obviously would have been a bit nervous over the last 24 hours, obviously with Nikolai Clint not here on international duty, and obviously Ben having his appendix out after an uncomfortable night last Thursday at Sheffield. See there Mickey Simpson, who actually rides for the Centurions. You can see there stood next to Simon Lambert. Made his debut last week for the Centurions at home. Say Lambert looks pretty happy. You're going out for heat number 3 now. And I'll pass you back up to Rob in the box.
So the grading break completed. Thanks to Mattie for his pit talk there, and we go towards heat number 3. The riders just being pushed away from the pits area onto track. And in heat number 3, there's a rider replacement outing needed. And you may well have spotted that the rider in red taking that replacement is going to be Mitchell Cluff. So we've got all riders on the track. They're just coming up to tapes now. Gladiators 2 points to the good at this stage. And the full lineup for heat number 3 looks like this. Off gate number 1 in the blue helmet colour for the Gladiators is Joe Thompson. On gate number 2 in white for the Scorpions is Declan Kennedy. Gate number 3 in red for the Gladiators, Mitchell Cluff. And in yellow, gate number 4 for the visiting Scorpions is Connor Mountain. Garry May opting to go to Mitchell Cluff straight away after his winning ride in heat number 2, bringing him out for a second on the trot, 2 on the trot, if you like, this time around. Trying to capitalise on the confidence that Cluff will no doubt have built up from that first race win on the night. So we've got riders at the line. They're just doing their pre-match preparations, no doubt waiting for the countdown clock to get to a relatively low number before they come forward. and then we can go racing again. Heat number 3 next on the programme. Gladiators with the slight 2-point advantage at this early stage. So there we go, everybody lined up in their correct slots by the look of it. Start marshal appears to be happy. He moves away. On comes the green light, tapes up, and away they go to the first corner. And off the inside box, it's Joe Thompson who makes a good start. He allows Mitchell Cluff to come around on the outside. So Cluff has the lead. Sneaking through into second place there was the rider in white. That was Declan Kennedy. Then is Joe Thompson relegated to third. And surprisingly, Connor Mountain a little bit adrift at the back at the moment. So Mitchell Cluff leaves it away. Tight lines again round the first and second bend. Zaine Kennedy in second place. Joe Thompson in third. And Connor Mountain looking for some drive to put a challenge in on Joe Thompson. But at the moment, not working out. So advantage Gladiators as things stand. Mitchell Cluff looking to be in line for his second win of the night. Over the line, red, white, blue, yellow is the result of heat number 3. Red, white, blue, yellow. And Mitchell Cluff there encouraging the crowd. No doubt very pleased with his work so far. Race win number 2 here at the Coliseum in the first 3 races. Great work indeed from the young Aussie. Let's bring up the official result for you. It looked like this. The win goes to the rider in red, Mitchell Cluff. Second place in white was Declan Kennedy. Third in blue, Joe Thompson. Fourth, Connor Mountain in yellow. So another 4-2 heat advantage to the home side, and they stretch their advantage a little more. 11 points to the Gladiators and 7 to the Scorpions. And if we look at the start again, you can see Mitchell Cluff makes a great start from gate number 3. It looked as if Joe Thompson was going to be there to join him, but Joe Thompson drifted just a little bit off the inside line, and Zaine Kennedy found a good path up the inside of him to fill the second slot. We've got riders out on track already in heat number 4. And the lineup across the gate looks like this. Riding in blue off the inside starting position, it'll be a second start of the night for Daniel Klima for the Gladiators. Gate number 2 in yellow is Zaine Kennedy. Gate number 3 in red, Lasse FREDRIKSEN. Gate number 4 in white is Jake Allen. And my apologies if I'm getting me Kennedys mixed up. I'll try and put it right for the future, but confusing for these lads. Well, confusing for me, not for the lads. Must do better. Try again then with heat number 4. Daniel Klima, Zaine Kennedy, Christine TURNBULL in the box watching on. Lasse FREDRIKSEN in gate number 3 in red, and Jake Allen in white, gate number 4 for the Scorpions. Pretty tight on gates 2 and 3 together. Enough room for the starting marshal to move away. Tapes released and away they go to the first bend, and this time it's the rider in yellow. That's Zaine Kennedy who's made the best of the starts, and if he had a look he'd have seen that it was his partner Jake Allen who was up alongside him. They just about got that sorted out now. So Zaine Kennedy leads Jake Allen with Klima in third place and FREDRIKSEN out the back. A little bit of a surprise there. So away we go again with Zaine Kennedy kicking the air as he goes around bends 1 and 2. Jake Allen now coming under pressure from Daniel Klima, and Lasse FREDRIKSEN closing the gap now, but it's a good piece of work from Jake Allen. He's just doing enough to hold off the attentions of both the Gladiators as they go down the back straight for the last time. Klima tries a run on the inside of Jake Allen's, not going to work. We can call them home. Yellow, white, blue and red. Yellow, white, blue, red. And a great result indeed for the visiting Scorpions as they nullify any advantage that the Gladiators had over the first few heats with a big 5-1 of their own in heat number 4, and they level the scores off at 12 to each team. Here comes your official outcome of the 4th race of the night. A win for the rider in yellow, Zaine KENNEDY, for the Scorpions. 2nd place, and a good covering ride there in white for the Scorpions from Jake Allen. 3rd, pressing hard but not making an impression, was Daniel Klima in blue for the Gladiators, and Lasse FREDRIKSEN sadly at the back for the home side. 1 point to the Gladiators, 5 to the visitors, 12 all after 4 races. And in rerun, you can see there that it was a very sharp start indeed off of gate number 2 for the rider in yellow, Zaine KENNEDY. And at one stage there, it looked like he may have hung his partner out to dry, but Jake Allen recovered the situation, used all his experience to find the right line, and then just sat in tight and helped his partner away at front whilst holding back the attention of those Gladiators who were pressing him for most of the race. As you can see, we've got the tractors out on the circuit again, doing a bit more grading, so we'll hopefully be able to cut across maybe to pits again in a minute or two to see if Mattie Bates is available to give us some insight on what's going on down in pit lane. And indeed, we can do that straight away. Over to you, Mattie. What have you got for us?
Getting ready to come out in heat number 5 as the rider replacement for Ben Barker. See there Joe Thompson as well. Just walk down here a minute and see in the distance there both reserves, Mitchell Cluff and Daniel Kilmer. Mitchell a 2nd win in his RR ride. See if we can get a few words. All right, to get a few words, mate? So obviously since dropping down to reserve, you've made am I right in thinking that you've made some improvements to the clutch, or you've invested in some clutch?
Yeah, I've had a few like these problems with my clutch all season, but it actually come back this morning in the workshop, so I was a bit scared about tonight, but we're trying our best to fix it. It seems to be working all right tonight, so yeah, hopefully we can just keep pushing on, a few more wins and have a smile on my face at the end.
So definitely, obviously tonight you've definitely got your gating gloves on. You've made 2 cracking starts, 2 wins, so you've got to be feeling pretty confident going for the rest of the meeting for that.
Yeah, it's just good. You know, my dad's come over now. Like, I've been on my own this whole time, and just to have him there, it's a little bit more work off my shoulders that I got to do. I can go to the gym and a few things like that. So it's just great to have him here, and yeah, he likes to get me revved up. So yeah.
You enjoying your time over? Obviously, it is your first season in the UK. Are you enjoying it here at Plymouth?
Yeah, like except for the bad meetings, you know. Other than that, it's all good. So just hopefully we can just push on now, and yeah.
Good. Well, good luck for the rest of the meeting, mate, and have a good one.
Can I just say, I got all my mates back home. They're at my mate's birthday party celebrating. I'm sure they're drunk as hell right now, but I appreciate your support, and I'll ring you when the meeting's done.
I know. Thank you. Cheers, Mitch. Nice few words there from Mitchell Cluff. Obviously, as you say, you can see his dad there in the pits with him. It's going to, as he said, take a massive weight off his shoulders and just make him feel a little closer to home, I suppose, with his dad there. You can see Garry May looking through his programme. So obviously Scunthorpe got a 5-1 in the previous race, which has made it level now. But apart from that, the Gladiators have been riding pretty well, considering we've got a guest and we're a rider down. See there Simon Lambert in the background getting ready for his next heat. So he just nipped the 3rd in that heat 1, but he did have pace. I mean, I think really if he got through a couple laps earlier, he probably could have contended maybe a bit more. But it's not a massive favourite for Simon this track, but he always does put on a pretty good performance down here, in fairness. You can see you there, Stevie Worrall as well, getting ready to go out. See Zaine KENNEDY, who just won the last heat with Jake Allen, a good 5-1 there for the Scorpions. Did Jake Allen done well to fend off both Gladiators, in truth, because Daniel Kilmer and Lasse FREDRIKSEN were putting him under a bit of pressure, but he rode sensible and rode smart and clenched the 5-1 for the Scorpions. See there Alfie BOWTELL, Chad Wurtsfield as well. He's going out for his next ride in the RR. See if we get a couple quick words of him. Alf, how are you feeling about tonight? All good?
I'm fuming after that first one. the ref put the red light on by an accident, and she admitted it and she said, "Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to." So I shut off halfway around the last corner, and then I got last.
Only in Speedway, eh? Only in Speedway.
Only in Speedway.
Obviously, you're taking your RR now for Ben. Feeling good going into this one?
Yeah, no, feeling good. Got gate 2, so I just got to make a good start and see how we go.
So obviously, with the rain that could have come down today, obviously Mark's held off the water a little bit. So coming from Rob, it's going to make it quite hard. So you're obviously happy to be more on the inside. Yeah.
Definitely happy with the inside gates. And obviously the track caught us, all the home riders out really with setups, because we sort of walked it thinking it was like normal, but you go out there and it's a bit different, where obviously it hasn't watered it and graded it so much. But no, all good.
It's a good job you used to ride for Royale, son, isn't it? Have a good one, buddy. A few words there from Alfie BOWTELL, massive fan favourite down at the Coliseum. Alfie obviously is third or fourth season for the Gladiators now. Sort of become part of the furniture, but still very, very much liked and still very, very capable down here. Just looking out on the track now, you can see Mark's putting a dribble bit more water down. The dust's still coming up a bit, but you're kind of damned if you do, damned if you don't, with the rain that could have been forecast for today. He's obviously held off, but in truth, the track's looking really good. It's not overwatered. It looks pretty nice, actually. So it should make for a good race line later, especially on the outside. But no, looking all good. Track's riding nice and smooth. All the riders look like they're enjoying it. See Mark there getting in the fastest laps of the night in the truck. Good old Daff, you can't beat him. But looking into the next heat, which is heat number 5, we got Alfie BOWTELL as the RR for Ben Barker, Joe Thompson, Steve Orr and Simon Lambert. So pretty heavy duty heat. There's a lot of potential for a result to go either ways, to be honest. Hopefully, obviously the way of the Gladiators, but we shall see. See up there in the NHS stand. See Maximus in the distance, getting the fans all revved up. Another good crowd here tonight. Looked a little bit quiet to start with the weather, but they soon come pouring in, getting a few waves up there, which is always nice. But yeah, good crowd. The atmosphere this season at the Coliseum has been fantastic, and I think with the way the team's now riding and everyone's performing, and obviously good old Maximus, it's definitely helps heighten that atmosphere a little bit. So you can see the Scunthorpe Scorpions there, all ready to go for Heat 5. Alfie BOWTELL, you can see Joe Thompson down there in the Gladiators pits with Henning Loof, former rider himself, obviously with Somerset Rebels and Mildenhall Fen Tigers. You get them all here, I tell you, retired, active, hiatus, they're all here. But no, it's good to see everyone looks comfortable, everyone looks happy, which is always good. And we've got a little visit here on our right. Maximus the Gladiator. Probably the most famous mascot in British Speedway, actually. But no, looking good. They're all going out, so we'll pass you back up to Rob and speak to you in a bit.
Well, there we are. There's a shot of people there just getting themselves bedded back in, ready to resume racing. It's going to be heat number 5 next on the programme. Garry May celebrating his birthday today. No doubt a bit disappointed that his early lead has been extinguished, but he'll have a few tricks up his sleeve, I'm sure. Garry knows the rules and regulations and the way to run a programme inside out, so we'll be sure that there'll be a few manoeuvres along the way. And riders in the pits there just getting themselves ready to go for heat number 5. You see the red helmet colour there is mounted on Alfie BOWTELL, so that looks like we know who's going to take the rider replacement outing in the next race in place of the unfortunate Ben Barker. Simon Lambert taking a big breath of lovely fresh Devon air there. Fill the lungs up, clear the head and get ready to go racing again and keep up those 4 laps of determination that he showed in heat number 1. Mitchell Cluff with his father there is over to help the lad out and working very well so far. I think you'll agree, 2 race wins under his belt. A very solid start for the 25-year-old Aussie. And speaking of Aussies, there's another one, Jake Allen, talking with Garry May. Almost a stalwart of Scunthorpe Speedway these days. He's been there for a number of seasons now. And we zoom in on young Luke Harrison left and Declan Kennedy on the right there. Declan Kennedy in his first season over here in the UK. Brother, of course, has been here previously, but this is the first time Declan's been racing in the UK, and probably the first time he's been to the Coliseum racing. I can't recall a previous visit. Daniel Klima there, just surveying the situation from top of the grandstand. He's got 2 points to his name so far. Plenty of effort, of course, but hasn't actually beaten an opponent, I don't think, so far. Oh, yes, he did. He beat Harrison in heat number 2. So perhaps a bigger track will suit Daniel Klima when the Gladiators go off on their travels in the league in the weeks to come. Maximus Gladiator showing his moves. Great asset for the Plymouth club. Maximus always here, always in amongst the crowd, warming them up, high-fiving the youngsters, creating a good family atmosphere, which is the hallmark of Speedway here down in Devon. And there's the man who holds the purse strings and really makes it all happen. Promoter Mark Phillips, man of many talents. Mr. Fix-It of Plymouth Speedway. So we just have a slight delay at the moment. I'm not sure if there is a particular reason for that, but having said that, 2-minute time allowance is activated, so we're ready to carry on in this Cab Direct Championship meeting between the Gladiators and the Scunthorpe Scorpions, sponsored by Ellie Rose Travel. Out on track there, in shot, is Steve Worrall. Only doing Championship League racing this year is Steve. In the past, of course, has been a doubler up with the Premiership as well, Bellevue, Wolverhampton. But now he's confining himself just to Championship racing at Scunthorpe, not far from his home up there in North Lincolnshire. Here's your lineup. Heat number 5. Gate number 1 in yellow for the Scorpions is Simon Lambert. Next door in red, gate 2 in the red helmet colour there, Alfie BOWTELL for the Gladiators. Gate number 3 in white for the Scorpions is Steve Worrall. And gate number 4 in blue for the Gladiators, Joe Thompson. So there we go, that's your lineup for heat number 5. Match score, as you can see, all tied, 12-12. And a chance here for one of those two sides to strike a blow and hit out towards starting to build a score. Just wait for the riders to settle. Alfie BOWTELL there just finding a slot for that rear tyre to sit into so that he gets the best propulsion away from the tapes. Riders being encouraged to come forward, and they now oblige. Starting Marshall looks to either side, he's happy. Green lights on, tapes are released, and away into the first bend. It looks like Alfie BOWTELL may have muscled his way to the front, but coming down the back straight on the fast line is Steve Worrall for the Scorpions. And Steve Worrall, he finds his way into pole position. Hugging the inside line, Alfie BOWTELL, but following the example of Worrall is now Simon Lambert, who's gone very wide. And has he done enough to overcome Alfie BOWTELL? Not at the moment. It's a ding-dong battle, and into the fence goes Simon Lambert. It looks like he's stuck there. Out come the red flags. Race is stopped in the interests of safety, and an interesting call to be made here by referee Christina TURNBULL. Was Alfie BOWTELL a little bit too robust on Simon Lambert, or was Simon Lambert just a little bit fast into the corner? We'll have to wait for a decision, but a good race was unfolding there, but halted by Simon's tumble. Let's hope that he's okay. Well, he is. He's up there, we can see, walking back to the pits, and we can just hear on the public address that rider in yellow is disqualified. So unfortunate for Simon there. You can see the action here. Simon out on that wide line. Alfie BOWTELL pretty close there, almost touch handlebars. Simon Lambert just runs it a little bit wide, and down he goes, and the referee deems that a tumble of his own volition, so he will be disqualified from the restart, and it will be 3 only when we go again in heat number 5. And as you can see on screen there, Simon telling his team manager exactly what he felt happened in that one. So, tough sport Speedway. Sometimes they go with you, sometimes they go against you. That time it wasn't quite Simon's rub of the green. Very unfortunate for him, and that message on his fork cover there, never give up. Well, that's typical of the man, and he'll be back in heat number 8, I'm sure, to do it all again and try and put those wrongs right for his side. We've got the 2-minute time allowance activated, and we go again in heat number 5 with 3 riders. Obviously there's a bit of a discussion there from the Scunthorpe side. They feel that their man is a little bit harshly excluded. Christina TURNBULL, the referee tonight, is the lady who made the call, and David Howe there expressing his thoughts on what should have happened. But rarely do referees change their mind in these situations, and with a 2-minute time allowance running down, I don't think David's going to have very much time left in his conversation with Christina on the phone. So Alfie BOWTELL get a bit of financial assistance, mechanical assistance, and here's Joe Thompson as well. I'm sure Alfie could do with some financial assistance. Anybody watching and feel like sponsoring any of the riders tonight, please get in touch with your clubs. They'll be very, very pleased to talk to you and explain that I'm sure there are a number of packages available which would assist either club or rider. So back to the line then in heat number 5, and nobody going from gate number 1. The unfortunate Simon Lambert there is the missing rider. Gate number 2 in red for the Gladiators is Alfie BOWTELL. Gate number 3 in white is Steve Worrall for the Scorpions, and gate number 4 in blue for the Gladiators is Joe Thompson. So everything rests on the shoulders of Steve Worrall for the Scorpions this time around. He made a good first turn, a good first half lap to get his nose in front when the race was originally run, and no doubt be looking to do exactly the same again this time round. So with the riders ready, starting marshals moved away, tapes are released, and away they go to the first corner. Alfie BOWTELL running down the corner, and it's managed to get his nose in front. Steve Worrall again just finds a little bit of traction. He gets around the outside of Joe Thompson, and Gladiators sitting 4-2 at this stage, with BOWTELL leading Worrall, leading Thompson down the back straight. Difficult man to pass, Alfie BOWTELL, when he gets his nose in front, and Steve Worrall's going to have a job on his hands here to reel in the Essex-based rider. And BOWTELL looks to have things very much under control with a lap to go. Steve Worrall not giving up, pressing hard, looking for something up the inside coming out of bend number 2, but Alfie BOWTELL's ridden this track many, many times. He knows the quickest way round one in front, and we can call them home. Red, white, blue in heat number 5. Red, white, blue. And there's Alfie BOWTELL up on the foot pegs, waving at the crowd, going down the back straight. Happy with that, no doubt. And as we look at the result of heat number 5, the official verdict goes this way: a win for the rider in red for the Gladiators, Alfie BOWTELL. Second place in white for the Scorpions was Steve Worrall. Third in blue for the Gladiators was Joe Thompson. And of course, no fourth rider in the rerun of heat number 5. 4-2 heat advantage to the Gladiators. They retake the lead at 16 points to the Scorpions 14. And a chance just to look at the way that heat 5 unfolded from the gate. Tapes up. BOWTELL and Worrall there dicing to the first bend. BOWTELL pushes Worrall wide. That pushes him into the dirt, and it's enough to get him past Joe Thompson. But that's the way it stayed as the race unfolded, with Alfie BOWTELL putting his first race disappointment behind him to record a first race win of the night for the Gladiators in race 5. Heat number 6 next on the programme, with home side with that slight advantage. Just panning down the crowd on the back straight here and back to the home straight. Ah, now that's where we ought to be, isn't it? Over there by the ice cream van, Mr. Whippy. Perhaps not the night for ice creams. It's a little bit nippy out there, but not too bad. I'm certain the kids will enjoy their ice creams. They'll need to get them topped up for the interval, because, as always, the Gladiators hold a race at the interval for the children. One lap of the track here, 228 metres I think it is, around the Coliseum. And let the youngsters stretch their legs out on the shale. So there we are, we're just having a look across the gate. There's gate 4 with the running line across it, of course, where riders mostly cross the track. And that's Luke Harrison in frame, just doing a practice start as he comes round to the starting gate. Let's take a look now, if we can, at the full lineup. Race number 6. And there we go, on screen your lineup. Gate number 1 this time round. The guest for the Gladiators is Glasgow's Kyle Howarth. He rides in red, inside slot. Next door in white for the Scorpions is Jake Allen, coming out again after a successful outing. 2 on the trot for Alfie BOWTELL in blue for the Gladiators, and Luke Harrison in yellow has the outside starting position in gate number 4 for the Scorpions. So there we are, that's your full lineup for race number 6. So not far away from action, the riders just settling into positions. And we're okay to go. Up go the tapes, and away we go into the first bend. And Alfie BOWTELL's down there, ran a little bit wide into the corner, and it was a slide off the back. Red lights are on, of course, as you would have expected. The airbag there a little bit unforgiving with the catch on the back wheel of the rider, so not enough time for him to move away. The race gets stopped, and we're understanding that the race will be rerun with all 4 riders. Yeah, there we go. Back to pits for Alfie BOWTELL. First bend bunching. Oh, if that's an actual incident or cause, then it's going to be deemed that, and off we go again. Riders lifting a little bit from the gate there. Carl Howarth pushing Jake Allen out, in turn pushing Alfie BOWTELL towards the outside, and the race is stopped. Plenty of heavy shale around the base of that airbag there, where Alfie BOWTELL went into the fence. Here's your gate statistics so far, and gate number 1 not proving particularly fruitful at all. No wins and just 2 points. Gate number 2, 3 wins. Gate number 3, 2 wins. And gate number 4, no wins at all. So gates 2 and 3 the favourite at the moment, and that shot tells you that we have suddenly been struck with a cloudburst, and the crowd here are getting their raincoats and umbrellas out, and hopefully this is just going to be a quickie to pass over, but at the moment it's quite a deluge that we've suffered. Now, I think we would normally be expecting the riders out on track at this stage, but given that we've had that little bit of rainfall in the last couple of minutes, then I think we'll probably be holding just for a minute or two to let that cloudburst pass over. Now is a chance to have a video from a past meeting. I think it was the Centurions' last meeting here, and enjoy the National League style action.
New rider on the inside, of course. Sam McGurk off of 2 in white, Ben Trigger off of 3 in blue, and Tom Spencer off of yellow in 4. Third time lucky here in heat 15 as the tapes are ready. The tapes go up, away they go. Trigger has made a good start this time. It is Ben Trigger who leads, but coming round the outside is Tom Spencer. He goes right round the outside of Ben Trigger. So that's a good ride from Tom Spencer to get into the lead.
Sam McGurk with it all to do. He needs to get past Ben Trigger if they're going to get the bonus points. Trigger, he's got to keep his eyes behind him and also try and close the gap on Tom Spencer. But as I said, he just needs second place, really. Just needs to hold on to what he's got.
He's having a good go here, Ben Trigger, as he goes into Ben 3, throws it sideways, tries to tuck it up the inside, but Tom Spencer's riding a good line here. Ben Trigger's really close to Tom Spencer in the late stage of this race. He's going to try and generate some speed for this last turn, Ben Trigger. He's going to turn it up the inside. He almost turns it inside out there. He's not going to manage it. It's a 4-2 to the Birmingham Bulls here. A great win there for Tom Spencer. And it was a win in yellow for Tom Spencer. 3 points to him. 2 points to Ben Trigger there in blue. 1 point to Sam McGurk.
Well, there we are. That's a little bit of action from the Centurions, and hope you can make your way down to the Coliseum when the Centurions are in action. The National League boys give it their all, and certainly the last meeting here was a bit of a nail biter. It worked out in the Centurions' favour at the end of the day with an aggregate win over the Birmingham Bulls, just 1 point in it, and it certainly made for a tense and enjoyable evening's racing. So if you can make it when the Centurions are on track, do come along, and I'm sure you won't be disappointed with the quality and the standard of the racing that's on offer from the up and coming riders in the sport. As you can see, the boys in the pits are just rigging up again by the look of it to come out and give it another crack in heat number 6. The rain has passed over, fortunately. Let's hope it doesn't reappear. And indeed, the 2-minute time allowance is now in operation for all the riders in the rerun of heat number 6. And let's hope we can get all 4 riders around the first 2 bends safely this time around. Carl Howarth there in shot, winner first time out, and looked to be doing okay second time out until the stoppage. And there you can see the Scunthorpe side of the pits with Luke Harrison there being pushed away to come out onto track. Kyle Howarth in shot, coming up to the tapes. Former Gladiator, of course, back in the day. Now lives in Marlborough in Wiltshire. Nice part of the world to be based in, I would have thought. Here's the restart of heat number 6. Your full lineup: Kyle Howarth red for the Gladiators on gate number 1. Jake Allen will be in white on gate 2 for the Scorpions. Gate number 3, Alfie BOWTELL in blue for the Gladiators. Gate number 4, Luke Harrison in yellow for the Scorpions. Let's hope that that cloudburst hasn't affected the track too markedly. It was only for probably 2 or 3 minutes at the most, but quite heavy at the peak of it. Let's keep our fingers crossed that the riders can get round without too many difficulties as we head towards heat number 6 this evening. So the engine noise comes up, green lights on, tapes are released and away to the first bend. It's Kyle Howarth spinning across the corner. The conditions have played their part there. Kyle Howarth on the outside and running round on the inside. Jake Allen. So Kyle Howarth has gone really wide, right to the fence. Jake Allen preferring a very tight line, and Alfie BOWTELL just trying to nudge his way up into third place there and put some pressure on Jake Allen. Riders have moved to the outside all the way. Kyle Howarth looking down there. Does that indicate a problem? I don't know. At the moment, not a problem because he's leading it out. He's leading Jake Allen. Alfie BOWTELL runs in third. Luke Harrison adrift at the back at the moment. They come off the final 2 corners then in heat number 6. And we can call them home. Red, white, blue and yellow. Red, white, blue, yellow. Heat advantage to the Gladiators again at 4 points to 2. And a second race win on the night for Kyle Howarth. And there he is. Not opting to take a lap of the track, but returning to pit straight away and continuing to look down at something that appears to be amiss on the bike. We'll see if we can find out what that is a little bit later on. Here's your official result of heat number 6, a 4-2 result in favour of the Gladiators, with Kyle Howarth in red the winner. Second place for the Scorpions, Jake Allen. Third in blue, Alfie BOWTELL. Fourth finisher, Luke Harrison. 20 points to the Gladiators and 16 so far for the visiting Scorpions. Here's some of our Scorpion friends who've come to support their side. Long trip over from the Lincolnshire area, especially on a day when the weather was somewhat inclement in various parts of the country, but fortunately mostly dry down here. Howarth hitting the inside there and shooting straight across the camber. Didn't luckily take anybody else with him, but scary moment there in the first bend. And as you can see, after that it was get out on the fence and try and keep away from the slidey stuff on the inside. On we go. It's heat number 7 and your lineup comes up looking like this. Declan Kennedy rides in the white helmet colour from gate number 1 for the Scorpions. Lasse FREDRIKSEN rides in red for the Gladiators from gate number 2. Connor Mountain is in yellow, gate number 3 for the Scorpions. And Mitchell Cluff, the highly successful rider here tonight, in blue for the Gladiators out of gate number 4. So there we are, that's your lineup, and we'll see if the track needs any further attention after this one, I think, because certainly caught a couple of the riders out first time round, but hopefully will have settled down having had that racing on it. Some people taking shelter underneath the leaves of the trees there. Probably not a bad place to be. So we're just waiting for the riders to come to tapes. And that looks to be pretty good to me. Start marshal moves away, green lights on. Tapes are up and away they go to the first bend. Lasse FREDRIKSEN making the best of the getaways there with the two Scunthorpe boys tucked in to second and third place. Connor Mountain in yellow, second place. Declan Kennedy white in third place. And Mitchell Cluff this time a little bit stranded at the back of the pack. But out in front, where we often see him here at the Coliseum, Lasse FREDRIKSEN for the Gladiators. Heading out, Connor Mountain and Declan Kennedy for the Scorpions. Kennedy there very close to the inside line. Maybe too close, I don't know. FREDRIKSEN out front. Connor Mountain in second place. Declan Kennedy white in third. And it's Mitchell Cluff in the fourth position. Over the line, we can call them home. Red, yellow, white and blue. Red, yellow, white and blue in a shared heat. Oh, correction. Yes, that's right. It's a shared heat, isn't it? Red, yellow, white, blue. Which we'll call 3-3. And let's give you the official result. As follows. Like this. Lasse FREDRIKSEN, your race winner in red for the Gladiators. Second place was Connor Mountain in yellow for the Scorpions. Third in white for the Scorpions, Declan Kennedy. Mitchell Cluff in blue. Fourth finisher, but no points. Heat result 3-3. Progressively 23 Gladiators and 19 to the Scorpions. And there we can see Declan Kennedy right around the inside. He certainly had the back wheel just on the white line, so nothing illegal about that, but close to being perilous. Heat number 8 next on the programme, and 2-minute lights flashing away there to indicate that the riders are on the time allowance. 23-19 for the home side, 4 points advantage so far. Remember, they were 4 ahead earlier in the meeting, but Scunthorpe clawed it back. What's going to happen in heat number 8? Well, let's have a look at the lineup and we can hazard some guesses. So there we go, heat 8 lineup. Yellow on gate number 1 for the Scorpions is Zaine KENNEDY. Gate number 2 in blue for the Gladiators, the new man Daniel Klima. Gate number 3 in white for the Scorpions is Simon Lambert. And gate number 4 in red for the Scorpions, no, for the Gladiators is Alfie BOWTELL. There we go, that's your lineup for heat number 8. As you can see there, the score reappears in the top corner at 23-19. And a race that's difficult to call, I think, one way or another. We've got riders who've done well in this one. We've got battlers in all 4 gates here, so we should be in for some good action this time round. Heat number 8 here at the Coliseum. The boss looking on. Riders just being encouraged to settle down there on those outside starting positions. They duly oblige. So the starting marshal's happy, he moves away. Tapes are up and off they go to the first corner. Bit of bumping and boring there on the inside, but it's Zaine KENNEDY who again makes a good start, but coming around the outside with some drive, Alfie BOWTELL in red picks his way to the front. Zaine KENNEDY now settles to second. Daniel Klima has all the work to do in third place to overhaul Zaine KENNEDY. Simon Lambert a little bit adrift this time at the back of the pack. So Alfie BOWTELL there pushing hard into bends 1 and 2, going out wide, leaving a bit of a gap on the inside for KENNEDY to exploit, but I think probably the outside line has got a little bit more drive on it at this stage in the meeting. So BOWTELL leads Kennedy, leads Klima, leads Lambert, and Kennedy again not far away on that inside run, but BOWTELL covers him off coming off the last corner. We can call them home red, white, blue, and red, yellow, blue and white. Red, yellow, blue and white. And you can see Alfie BOWTELL on track, up on the pegs to take the applause of the fans in the main NHS stand here at the Coliseum. Here's your official result of heat number 8, to win for Alfie BOWTELL in red for the Gladiators. Second place in yellow, Zaine KENNEDY for the Scorpions. Third in blue for the Gladiators, Daniel Klima. And a fourth position for Simon Lambert of the Scorpions. 4-2 heat advantage. It's a further lead for the Gladiators. They go 27-21 ahead after 8 races. Of course, it puts Scunthorpe into tactical territory. We'll see how they deploy that in a little bit of time. Quick look at the restart here. Tapes are up. Looks like Zaine KENNEDY had made the best of the starts, but Alfie BOWTELL, wide line, picked up the drive and scooted round the outside of Zaine KENNEDY. And that left Zaine KENNEDY to fight off the attentions of Daniel Klima, who pushed hard but wasn't able to make any significant inroads into the race result. So 4-2 there for the Gladiators. 27-21 after 8 races. So the flags are blowing. The rain staying away, fortunately, with that breeze that's developed. And on to heat number 9 with changes to tell you about when we get to show you the full lineup. Heat 9, a race where the number 3 home rider is out on track. Of course, tonight rider replacement is used at that number 3 position, and it's going to be Lasse FREDRIKSEN who takes the ride for the Gladiators. Lasse FREDRIKSEN, the rider replacement outing. And here we go across the gate. Your full lineup looks like this. Riding in white on gate number 1 for the Scorpions is Jake Allen. Riding in blue, gate number 2 for the Gladiators is Joe Thompson. Tactical substitute in yellow on gate number 3 for the Scorpions is Steve Worrall. And gate number 4 in red for the Gladiators is Lasse FREDRIKSEN. So there we go. Scorpions throwing in their tactical at the earliest opportunity. And the question is, will it work? 2 experienced riders for the Scorpions there with Jake Allen and Steve Worrall. And no doubt David Howe is hoping that that experience will come into play against the lesser experienced Joe Thompson and the fast starting Norwegian there in the red helmet colour, Lasse FREDRIKSEN. So we have the riders settling in position at the starting gate. Green light shows, up go the tapes, and away they go to the first bend. And it's young Joe Thompson who looks to have made the best start there, but using all his experience, it's Jake Allen who sneaks his way round on the inside. And now Steve Worrall looks to have followed his partner through, certainly into 3rd place. And it's advantage Scunthorpe at this particular stage. Out front, Jake Allen leads from Lasse FREDRIKSEN. Steve Worrall is in 3rd. Joe Thompson, after that early show, he's now running at the back. So Lasse FREDRIKSEN is pressuring Jake Allen. Allen riding mid-track there. FREDRIKSEN just running a little bit across the corner, and that's let Allen get away from him in front. Steve Worrall trying to close down by using the big line, but it's not working. So we can call them home white, red, yellow, blue. White, red, yellow, blue for a heat advantage to the visitors, and they claw a little bit in from the deficit. And here's your race winner, Jake Allen, making the most of his gate 1 position there, and a good first bend to bring home the bacon, as it were, for the Gladiators, for the Scorpions. Here's your official result on screen now. A win for the rider in white, Jake Allen, for the Scorpions. Second place in red for the Gladiators is Lasse FREDRIKSEN. Third, the tactical substitute, Steve Worrall, for the Scorpions. And Joe Thompson is the 4th rider home. 4-2 heat advantage to the Scorpions that time round. And they now close the gap down to 29 points to the Gladiators and 25 to the visitors. 29-25 after 9 races. Just a quick look at the starter game. We'll watch the rider in blue here make the best of it. But going through the first corner, he drifts wide, and Jake Allen on the inside comes through to take pole position, blocks Joe Thompson's run, and that also put Thompson off slightly, and they come round on the completion of the first lap. Steve Worrall sneaks under Joe Thompson, and with his partner register heat advantage for the Scorpions. Heat number 10, the riders already on their way to tapes. Just the 4 points separating the sides. And your full lineup across the gate looks like this. Riding from gate number 1 in yellow for the Scorpions is Connor Mountain. Gate number 2 in blue for the Scorpions, for the Gladiators is Alfie BOWTELL. Gate number 3 in white for the Scorpions is Declan Kennedy. And gate number 4 in red, unbeaten so far, the guest rider for the Gladiators is Kyle Howarth. Howarth in shot there, alongside Declan Kennedy, getting themselves ready to go. Referee watching on from the lofty position in the box. And the riders settle, ready to go. Engine noise rises, green lights on, and away they go. And off the inside starting position, Connor Mountain looks to have made a good start, but Kyle Howarth using the outside line, trying to find power and drive around the outside. Now, has he done enough to get past Connor Mountain? Yeah, the answer is yes. Lovely ride from Howarth there to do that. Going a little bit crazy on the outside of bend number 2, Alfie BOWTELL gets it back in order, but he's got the Scunthorpe rider Declan Kennedy chasing him hard. As it stands, it's an advantage to the Gladiators. Howarth out in front, Mountain second, BOWTELL in third, a lap to go. And Carl Howarth impressive at the front again. Connor Mountain pushing hard, but not really making any inroads there. And Alfie BOWTELL just covering off the whole thing. Red, yellow, blue, white. Red, yellow, blue, white is your overall result in the heat. And there's Carl Howarth coming around on a parade lap. He obviously cured whatever mechanical issues he had last time out. And here's the official result coming your way now. With a win for the rider in red for the Gladiators, Kyle Howarth. Second place in yellow for the Scorpions was Connor Mountain. Third in blue for the Gladiators, Alfie BOWTELL. And fourth man home was Declan Kennedy for the Scorpions. 4-2 heat advantage to the home side. They go back to a 6-point advantage. It's 33 Gladiators, 27 Scorpions. And in replay you can see that Connor Mountain here made a good start from the inside starting position, but I think you'll also see that Kyle Howarth looked for that dirt line around the outside, and that big long straight allowed him to find the speed to drive up to the banking on banes 3 and 4, and then past Connor as they dropped down onto the first and second bend second lap. Alfie BOWTELL there, just a little bit wayward on a couple of the corners, but doing enough to keep Declan at the back. So advantage Gladiators after 10 races. Here's the gate stats so far. Gate number 1 is coming on a little bit with 2 wins. Gate 2, best number of wins of course with 4, but 3 and 4 also gates with 2 wins at a time. Highest number of points from gate number 2 on 19, and the other gates fairly even at 13 and 14. So slight advantage to gate number 2 as we have 10 rides completed. Maximus, the maximum man there, he'll be geeing everybody up and getting his gladiator army in full voice for the 5 heats that we've got coming up to conclude the meeting. So as you can see on screen, the rider in yellow is going to be changed from Simon Lambert, and Zaine KENNEDY takes a reserve ride here in heat number 11. Here's your lineup in full for heat number 11. Gate number 1 in red for the Gladiators, Lasse FREDRIKSEN. Gate number 2 in white for the Scorpions is Steve Worrall. Gate number 3 in blue is Mitchell Cluff. And gate number 4, a reserve change, is Zaine KENNEDY taking the place of Simon Lambert in yellow for the Scorpions. And we're just waiting for Mitchell Cluff to appear. Pit gate still open, so Cluff's going to be cutting it fine, and in fact he's found his way out onto track, so here he comes. And those don't really look like regulation Gladiator Kevlars, but a little bit different of course. And it looks as if Mitchell Cluff has failed to beat the time allowance, which indeed is the case, and he returns to pits. So the Gladiators have some decisions to make here. Do they use the other reserve, Daniel Klima, or could they perhaps put Cluff back 15 metres? We said earlier on that Garry May would have some thinking to do during the course of the meeting, and this was perhaps one of the things that he didn't think about having to solve. But resourceful as he is, as ever, it's going to be Daniel Klima to come out in blue in place of Mitchell Cluff. And so Klima on his way round to fill the vacancy left at gate number 3, and he's there straight away. So FREDRIKSEN, Worrall, Klima and KENNEDY across the gate from inside to out as we go to heat number 11 here at the Coliseum. Gladiators 6 to the good. Takes a release, and away they go with the FREDRIKSEN there making a good start, but down the back straight Steve Worrall looking to find the similar line that Kyle Howarth had before, and it's driven him straight through to the front. FREDRIKSEN now protecting a second place, and Zaine Kennedy picking up the third spot for the Scorpions. Are they going to nudge back again? Worrall leads, FREDRIKSEN second, Kennedy third. They're all trying so hard to catch one another, but making inroads with the track slickening off as it has is proving to be a bit tricky at the moment. So Steve Worrall, with all those years of experience, is going to do the business for his side. We'll call them home: white, red, yellow and blue. And we can see the riders there just heading down the back straight, and Steve Worrall turning tail and heading back to the pits after a race win there. So Steve doing all he could towards helping his team. As we look at the official results of the 11th race, Steve Worrall, your race winner in white for the Scorpions. Second place in red for the Gladiators was Lasse FREDRIKSEN. Third place in yellow for the Scorpions was Zaine Kennedy, and the fourth rider home, Daniel Klima for the Gladiators. 4-2 heat advantage to the Scorpions, and the Gladiators still have advantage, 35 points to the Scorpions 31. 35-31 after 11 races. And a chance to reprise the start for you. And as you can see, Lasse FREDRIKSEN just about got there, but Steve Worrall pushed to the outside and into the traction, and it shot him down the back straight. He kept it fairly wide and in the dirt line, and it drove him around FREDRIKSEN, whilst Zaine Kennedy sneaked through into third place there, set sail after FREDRIKSEN, but that was all she wrote really, and Scunthorpe come away with heat advantage in heat number 11. Heat number 12 next on the programme. That will need a rider replacement outing, and we believe that's Mitchell Cluff. Yeah, just being announced through the PA system. Mitchell Cluff will take the rider replacement outing, which may be a little bit of a surprise because it means Joe Thompson doesn't get a rider replacement ride. But just looking at the averages, well, that wouldn't have been possible anyway, because Joe Thompson's averages are too high to be included in the rider replacement scheme. So Mitchell Cluff then is the rider replacement in red in heat number 12. There's Maximus's chopper, and there's Maximus behind it. Yes, Maximus, we were talking about you. As mentioned earlier, the teams meet again next Friday up at the Eddie Wright Raceway in the reverse fixture. So aggregate point to be decided next Friday. Christina TURNBULL in her referee's box. So the scores close together. Scunthorpe will be pleased with the fact that they're keeping it that way, but would no doubt be delighted to go on a little bit and take all the points on offer tonight, both of them. But aggregate point, as we say, is going to be possible next Friday up at the Eddie Wright Raceway. So keeping things close and together tonight is important for Scunthorpe. Gladiators, of course, would be looking to extend that advantage to as many points as they can for the trip up to Lincolnshire next week. So here we go then, the lineup for heat number 12. Gate number 1 is Mitchell Cluff for the Gladiators. He's in the red helmet colour. Next door in yellow for the Scorpions is Luke Harrison. Luke Harrison in yellow. Gate number 3 in blue for the Gladiators is Daniel Klima. And gate number 4 for the Scorpions is Declan Kennedy. So there we go. That's the way we line up for heat number 12. Across the gate, riders are ready. So green light is on, tapes are released, pretty even break, but it looks like it may be the Gladiator in white, sorry, the Gladiator in blue who's got there, but that said, red lights are on, and we have a faller. Luke Harrison down on the first bend, and the referee declares unsatisfactory start and all 4 to come back. Yeah, an even break there going into the corner, and people just tended to get tied up with one another. Mitchell Cluff there shooting across the corner as well. So good to see Luke up, no problems there. Well, I say he's up, but I thought he was up, but he's down again. And let's hope that's nothing too serious, maybe just catching his breath. Mitchell Cluff's father, hard at it. Chad Wordsfelt there with the brushing the tyres, and he's lost the spoke as well, as you can see there. Wordsfelt, of course, a very good grass track rider and formerly a National League rider at Bellevue Colts, but currently injured. He's got a bad arm injury, sustained grass track racing, so he's only able to do some assistance at the moment. No racing for him for a while. Here's your scores so far on the night. Carl Howarth, 3 wins, 9 points for the Gladiators. Alfie BOWTELL, 8 points from 5 rides. Joe Thompson, just 2 points from 3 rides so far. Lasse FREDRIKSEN, 7 from 4. Mitchell Cluff, 6 from 3. Daniel Klima, 3 from 4. That's a total of 35 so far. On the opposite side, Steve Worrall, 8 points from 4 rides. Simon Lambert, not his night tonight, unfortunately, 1 and 1 from 3 rides. Declan Kennedy, 3 and 1 from 3 rides. Connor Mountain, 4 from 3 rides. Jake Allen, 7 and 1 from 3 rides. Luke Harrison, no score from 2 rides. And Zaine KENNEDY proving to be a thorn in the side of the Gladiators tonight with 8 points from 4 rides. So that's the way the scores stack up at this stage of the meeting. 11 heats completed, so 4 more to go. Still touch and go in terms of who's going to do what as the meeting unfolds. 4 big races to come. And Luke Harrison there just clipping a tear off onto the goggles so that he gets some clear vision if he needs it, if he gets sprayed by some shale from the other riders. And in the background you may have heard that the 2-minute time allowance has now come on. 2 minutes in heat number 12 for the 4 riders who are going to go again for the restart. Simon Lambert doing the captain's role there, encouraging his young teammate as he comes out onto track, hoping for a little bit more luck this time around. And just to remind you of the gate positions here, with Mitchell Cluff for the Gladiators on gate 1, Luke Harrison for the Scorpions on gate 2, Daniel Klima for the Gladiators on gate 3, and Declan Kennedy for the Scorpions on gate number 4. There we've got the new man in blue, Daniel Klima, who'd made a bit of a better start that time and was in contention, but as it was, the race got pulled back, so he gets another opportunity to make a name for himself and take his first win at the Coliseum. So, riders lined up, ready to go. Start marshal's happy, he moves away. Tapes up and away they go to the first corner, and Daniel Klima got an absolute beauty from gate number 3, if it's allowed to stand. Well, it's going to stand, but he gets pegged back on the inside with a run round there. So Declan Kennedy there was aware of what Klima was going to do, and Declan Kennedy gets to the front. Klima heads. Second place is Klima, third is Mitchell Cluff, and Luke Harrison, having no luck tonight, he's out the back. So Declan Kennedy leads for the Scorpions. Daniel Klima working hard for the Gladiators, but he's not really going to be able to wind in Declan Kennedy, and the Aussie comes over the line, and we can call them home. White, blue, red and yellow. White, blue, red and yellow. And an astute piece of work there from the Gladiators and the Scorpions, to be fair, as they found their way home. Yeah. So apologies if I've been calling Declan Kennedy incorrectly. It's Zaine Kennedy who was riding in white there. Zaine Kennedy. There's your result. Zaine Kennedy, your race winner. 3 points to him for the Scorpions. Daniel Klima in blue, 2 points for the Gladiators. Mitchell Cluff, 1 point for the Gladiators. No score, Luke Harrison. 3-3 and 38-34 to the Gladiators over the Scorpions with 3 races to go. So, blockbuster start there for the rider in blue, Daniel Klima, but too wide, and Zaine Kennedy hugs the inside, gets his nose in front and takes it on home. We've hit the interval here at the Coliseum, and the kids are invited out onto the centre of the track to do the race round. They do it regularly here at the Coliseum, as is becoming the case at many tracks up and down the country. I think it was started off by the Isle of Wight many seasons ago.
So, with 12 heats gone now at the Coliseum, we've hit the interval where the Gladiators up by 4 points with the total score 38-34. You can see there the Gladiators having a little team talk there with obviously the 3 remaining heats. It's, you know, by standards of the Gladiators, they're having a good meeting. Obviously, as we mentioned earlier, no Nikolai Clint tonight, and obviously the absence of Ben Barker. It was always going to be a tough ask, but you know, riders like Mitchell Cluff and Alfie BOWTELL, they've really got their bit between their teeth and sort of stepped up when they needed. We'll see if we can get a word with Garry May. Garry, how are we doing?
Doing fine, yeah. You know, with the riders, you know, they've got, and you know, Mitchell Cluff showing a little bit of form tonight, and the new rider coming in who just had a fantastic gate there. I think he's riding quite well. You know, he's not way behind. He's in the mix, even in the first bend and everything. So, yeah, it's just Scunthorpe are a solid side. You know, they got 7-point rider at the top and 5 at the bottom, and that's quite solid. So all of them can win races, you know. So I've just got into my boys and said we're 4 up. Let's finish the job off, you know what I mean? So, you know, it was always going to be hard tonight because we're losing Ben Barker, you know, and Carl's come in and done a good job for us, but we've got to finish it off now. There's only 4, and I think we can do it. I don't want to lose it now.
100%. I mean, you know, looking at Ben's rider replacement rides, I mean, they've we can see here they've got 2 wins in a second so far. So, you know, for Ben. So that's a big difference. Usually, we've seen in the past with RR rides, maybe they might chip together 4 or 5 points between them. But to have sort of 8 points from the 3 rides so far is excellent stuff from the boys.
It's good, isn't it? Because I think Ben would have scored a bit more, but 8's good enough for that. Do you know what I mean? Considering what we're using, the 2 reserves and the 4th and 5th averages riders. You know what I mean? So no, it's a good.
I mean, as we're talking about Daniel Klima, obviously it's his first time here. Obviously a massive culture shock to what he's used to in the Czech Republic. Looks very stylish on the bike, and it looks like he's got pace, but it looks like once he gets the setup right, he'll be a pretty dominant force around here, especially at the reserve berth.
Yeah, so do I, and hopefully that's what he's been brought in for in a way as well. He's a quality rider abroad, but he probably saw this track and think, where is the track? Is this a junior track? You know what I mean? But he's riding really well tonight. I can't fault him at all. He's had a right old go. He's in with the mix, in with the first bend, and I think he'd be good for us.
I was just saying as well, obviously with Alfie and Mitchell having a good night as well, that's really helped the team's cause, and obviously no Ben or Nikolai as well.
Yeah. Mitchell scored in his first 2, but Alfie had a duck in his first one, got a 0, in the first ride, but then he's come good. But Alfie knows his way round here, you know what I mean? And we just keep talking, to try and get it done, ride. If I keep an eye on the track, and I'll transfer it onto them, and they can do what they want to do then, you know what I mean? So that's what's happening, right, okay?
Well, good luck for the rest of the meeting. A few words there from Garry May, obviously Gladiators team manager, more than happy with his boys' performance tonight, but free to go. You can see here new signing Daniel Klima. We'll see if we can get a word with him. Daniel, how you doing?
Pretty good, yeah. It can be better, but not so bad.
You enjoying it out? Obviously it's a bit different to what you're used to in Poland and in Czech Republic, but you enjoying it out there?
Yeah, of course, I'm enjoying, but it's pretty different, but a lot of action on this track, so I like it.
You look really good out there, really comfortable, very stylish. Obviously, once you've had a couple meetings, it should be a track that you could get on quite well with.
I hope so. I will get better and make more points. Today wasn't bad, but I'm looking for more points.
Well, good luck for the rest of the meeting, mate, and have a good, safe season. So, first words there from the new boy, Daniel Klima. As we venture down the pits, you can see all very chilled out in the Gladiators pits. See Alfie BOWTELL there just having a chat. We go into the Scunthorpe pits now, very much of the same. You see there David Howe. See if we can grab a word. Dave, how are we doing?
Yeah, not too bad. Yeah, we're still in the meeting, so hopefully we've got a choice of gates in 15, and we've got 1 and 3 in the next one as well, so hopefully we can get something out of the next race and take down to the wire.
I mean, I always say myself, Scunthorpe is one of the meetings I really look forward to at home. It's obviously with the rivalry we used to have in the Conference League back in the early 2000s, and that rivalry comes a bit alive again whenever they're in town. It's always a very underrated meeting. I mean, your boys always perform really well around here. So obviously 4 points down, but you're happy with how they're all doing?
Yeah, I mean, obviously there's a couple of riders who've had not so good meetings for various reasons, but I can't fault the effort and what they're trying. So. We're lucky we've had Zaine at the bottom end of the team having an excellent meeting. He's had some experience here this year already, so I've been able to utilise him a bit. We just need to get. I really need at least a 4-2 out of 13 to give us something to fight for.
Do you ever wish you could go back out there yourself?
No, never. I probably miss riding sometimes. I don't really miss racing. I've been very lucky from my retirement. I started working with Dougie. Which I still do now, and I get the same kind of feeling helping and watching him race as I did when I was riding. Not quite the same as winning a race yourself, but it's still enjoying. And obviously, being the team manager here, so I'm still very much involved in the sport. Still love it. So, but no, I don't think you could pay me to sit on the start line now.
Well, good luck for the rest of the meeting, bud. A few words there from David Howe, obviously a former rider himself, very good rider, former GB team member and international. You can see the Kennedy brothers over here. We'll see if we get a couple words of them. All right, guys, any chance of a few words?
Me or both?
Both? Yeah, go for it.
I don't
no. So obviously, you've been down here a couple of times this year for guesting. Had some pretty solid meetings, and obviously that's showing again tonight. Because another solid one from yourself.
Yeah, obviously I've had a few goes here now this year, but it's Speedway. Every day is different, so the track's different today than it has been the last 2 times I've been here. So, but it's a place I actually enjoy riding, and it shows.
So obviously the return leg we got. I think it's next week. We're up at your place. How's that been going for you at home this season? You enjoying it? Because obviously you've been there Obviously, last season you had off, but you've been there a couple of years, so you still enjoying it up there?
Yeah, no, it's good. Home meetings have been up and down, to be fair, but that's just Speedway. You know, I have a real good one, and then I have a not so good one. Still putting a few points on the board. I've had a bit of a crapper at one stage and bashed myself up a bit and done a bike and stuff, but yeah, we're just we're learning again, really. Like, I've done 2 years out with injuries, and then we've come back this year, and we're just learning everything again. You know, everything's a little bit different. Tracks are a little bit different from when I was here. The shale's sort of a bit slicker, so we're just adapting, and yeah, it'd just be nice to get a bit of momentum and a few meetings on the bounce. You know, I think this is our third meeting in like 5 weeks, so it's hard to get going.
Awesome. We'll have a good RST meeting, mate, and we'll speak to you soon. So more meetings needed there by Zaine Kennedy. I think that's much the same for a lot of the riders. You see, obviously, people like Carl Howarth guesting last minute for Nikolai, and obviously Zaine's guested for us a couple of times this season as well. We'll see if we can get a few words with Carl, actually. All right, bud, all right for a quick chat? Yeah. So obviously, took the call tonight. Obviously, we were here last season, but a good one for yourself tonight, unbeaten so far.
Yeah, so far, so steady, but obviously got 13 coming up, and just watch it, he's making a few adjustments. But yeah, no, Jay, leave it for 13. So yeah, we'll be all right.
Obviously, the track's a little bit slicker tonight because they laid off the water, obviously, with the rain that could have been forecast. But you enjoying it out there? Like,
yeah, the track's all right. Obviously, the weather was it had like 98%, 90% rain all day, didn't it? So fair play to Mark for risking it, and they've got the meeting on, and obviously it's dusty, but it's what it is. You can't help it. He didn't want to put any water on, and then if he put water on and then it rained, yeah. So fair play to Mark. He's put a show on.
I guess this is a bit more of a local one for you, obviously riding for, because you're based in Swindon now, right?
Yeah, Marlborough, Swindon, Marlborough. So it's a Saturday, and yeah, I'd say it is a localish one now. Yeah, instead of Manchester.
You have a good rest of the meeting, mate, and good luck in Heat 13. So obviously Kyle, former captain for the Gladiators last season, this year with Glasgow Tigers and Leicester Lions in the Premiership. Opted to leave, obviously former Sheffield Tigers captain for the last few seasons, but made the switch back to Leicester for the 2025 season. Let's see what's going on up here. You can see Joe Thompson. Joe's struggled a little bit tonight. It's really his gating, I think. He's had speed, but it's definitely been more of his gating. See Lasse there just coming in the picture. Good performance from Lasse tonight. 2 seconds and a first. Obviously, with Lasse now being at number 5, it'll be the next Heat 13 will be a big one for him and Carl Howarth. So, he's shown good pace. He's beaten, he's been in the mix of a few of the good riders tonight. So there's every chance that Plymouth could pull off a good one in Heat 13. And have a look on the track now. You can see they pulled a little bit of that dirt in. There is quite a lot of dirt considering how slick it was to start on the outside. You can still see that shiny surface where the slick line is there, but I mean the racing's been phenomenal. You just see Mark come past now in picture, giving it a bit of a sop of water just to keep the moisture in it a bit. But no, I mean, as Carl Howarth said, it, fair play to Mark for getting the meeting on with a sort of 90% chance of rain, and by Heat 1 we had a bit of dust. So stranger things happen in Speedway, I suppose. But no, the track's looking really good. There's been no real issues tonight. A few slide-offs, but everyone seems to have liked it. But now I'll pass you back up to Rob in the box, and we'll speak to you in a bit.
Well, thanks to Mattie and the guys in the pits there for some interesting comments. Excited to see Mark Phillips in another of his roles as tanker driver, putting a little bit of water down on the circuit after grading. So, just a little bit of news from elsewhere this evening. If you don't want to know about the Grand Prix, put your fingers in your ears or whatever now, and I'll give you 3 or 4 seconds just to do that. Before I tell you that former Plymouth rider Brady Kurtz has won another GP. He's in a fantastic form at the moment, and congratulations to him for winning in Sweden tonight. In the championship, there's a fixture going on up in the Borders with Berwick taking on Edinburgh, and at the moment that one's tied. It's 33-33 after 11 heats up there at Shieldfield Park. So they've got an exciting meeting on their hands. We have here as well. And good to see that you're enjoying yourselves there, folks. Good racing here at the Coliseum with always close action. The size of the track, of course, means that you can't get too far away from your opponents, but it's real harem scarum into the first corners a lot of the time, and that makes for a lot of excitement. So we've got the track staff just coming back out to resume their positions with the interval almost at an end now. And as I say that, the hooter goes and the 2-minute time allowance is activated for all the riders in Heat 13. Usually billed as one of the best races of the night when the top riders come together. And tonight we've got an unbeaten rider for the Gladiators in the shape of Carl Howarth coming to tapes, and no doubt he'll be determined to keep his unbeaten tag going. His partner in this one's going to be the man in shot, Lasse FREDRIKSEN. Lasse, who's had a little bit of an up and down night, but contributed good points in important races along the way. So you've got a Gladiator pair on shot there, and we'll bring up the full and official starting order for you right now. It looks like this. Steve Worrall will ride in white from gate number 1. He's representing the Scunthorpe Scorpions, of course. Gate number 2 is Kyle Howarth for the Gladiators. Gate number 3, Jake Allen in yellow for the Scorpions. Gate number 4, in the blue helmet colour for the Gladiators, Lasse FREDRIKSEN. So good looking lineup then. Heat number 13 counting down. See there, just 45 seconds to go. Riders, of course, are there. They've got all that time if they need it to get themselves prepared. Carl Howarth just doing a little bit of digging to see where the best place to start is going to be. Referee Christina TURNBULL ready to press the magic button to get them underway. And Starter Marshal encouraging the riders to come to their correct positions, and they duly oblige. Green light on. Tapes released, and a fair bit of movement there at the starting gate. Scorpions have made the most of it though, and they head off into the distance with Jake Allen leading. Steve Worrall coming under pressure on both sides from FREDRIKSEN and from Howarth, but it's FREDRIKSEN who's spun it almost on bend number 2. That's put him out of the race, so Jake Allen leads. Steve Worrall second. Carl Howarth losing his unbeaten tag now. He's running third, and it's going to be a great one for the Scorpions, because this looks like it's going to even the match up again. There's a lap to go. Jake Allen leads. Steve Worrall second. Carl Howarth in third. That's the way it looks as they go down the back straight for the last time. And people in Scunthorpe, you will be jumping up and down for joy now, because your boys have brought it home in heat number 13. We'll call them in yellow, white, red and blue. It's a big one for the Scunthorpe Scorpions, and they register a 5-1, the second 5-1 that they've had this evening, and that's certainly put the cat amongst the pigeons as far as the last couple of races go here at the Coliseum this evening. Your race winner in yellow was Jake Allen there. Jake, 10+1 so far, going great, isn't he? And over the line, the successful Scunthorpe pair. Let's bring up the official result for you on heat number 13. And it looks like this. A win for the rider in yellow, Jake Allen, for the Scunthorpe Scorpions. Second in white for the Scorpions, also Steve Worrall. Third in red was Carl Howarth. Lasse FREDRIKSEN, the fourth finisher, but no score. 5-1 to the visitors. That means we tie the scores off after 13 races at 39 Gladiators and 39 to the Scorpions. And a quick look at the restart again. A little bit of jumping on the gate here, but the referee lets the race go, and it went on to favour the Scorpions. And there we go. Worrall down tight. Allen runs around him, and although they're looking for the Gladiators, there is no challenge coming from the outside or eventually the in. On we go, heat 14. I don't believe we've got any changes to report at this stage. So let's see what the official lineup looks like. It looks like that, heat number 14. Off the inside gate, Mitchell Cluff in blue for the Gladiators. Next door in white for the Scorpions is Connor Mountain. Gate number 3 in red for the Gladiators, Joe Thompson. And on gate number 4, Danger Man indeed for the Scorpions, is Zaine Kennedy. So we're getting tense here at the Coliseum now, 39-39. The Scunthorpe Scorpions have battled their way back into the meeting on 2 occasions to level off deficits. What can they do over the remaining 2 heats? Have they got enough in the tank to pip the Gladiators, or will the Gladiators come strong in the last 2 races? All to play for here at the Coliseum this evening. Exciting stuff. It's a tense atmosphere around the stadium now. Earlier jubilation has faded away, and fans are on the terraces really getting behind their favourites, and the majority of those are Gladiator people. So the riders prepared for the off. The starting marshal's ready and moves away. Here we go, heat 14. Tapes her away and off they go to the first corner. And it looks like Joe Thompson in the red helmet has done the business for the Gladiators and hit the front. He sure has. Scorpions tuck into second and third places. Zaine Kennedy second. Connor Mountain third, and Mitchell Cluff at the back is the guy who has got everything to do. Could we go to a last heat decider? Could we go to a super hoot? Well, we'll soon find out, because Joe Thompson is doing all he can for the Gladiators in heat 14. Zaine Kennedy in the yellow helmet colour runs second for the Scorpions. Connor Mountain in white runs third for the Scorpions. Mitchell Cluff is being left behind, I'm afraid, this time round for the Gladiators. So a great work from Joe Thompson there in heat number 14. Popped out the gate beautifully. He wins the race. We call them home. Red, yellow, white and blue. Red, yellow, white, blue for a drawn heat. And it takes us to a very, very crucial heat number 15. There we come over the line with Zaine Kennedy and Joe Thompson returning to pits. Lots of backslapping at the pits gate here from both sides. Here's your official result on heat number 14 before we go to the nominated race. The winner in red, Joe Thompson for the Gladiators. Second in yellow for the Scorpions was Zaine Kennedy. Third in white, also for the Scorpions, Connor Mountain. And the fourth finisher was Mitchell Cluff for the Gladiators. 3-3 the heat result, 42-42 the match score, with 1 nominated riders race to go. And mentioned if it finishes 45-45, we could be in for the treat of a super heat. Let's have a look how they got away from the gate in heat number 14. And it looked like Joe Thompson was determined. He shot across from gate 3, clamped down Connor Mountain on gate number 2, put the bike in exactly the right place to get away down the back straight, and it was left to the Scorpions to fill the minor positions, keep the scores tied up, with Mitchell Cluff unable to make any inroads at the back. Now the team managers to make their nominations, and it'll be interesting to see who they go with. Garry May there talking with Kyle Howarth, who you would think would be certainly one of the nominees. Over on the Scunthorpe side, well, looking down the score chart, you can't look much further than the 2 guys who recorded a maximum in heat number 13 in the shape of Steve Worrall and Jake Allen. All unofficial, of course, and speculation at this stage, but we'll see what happens when the official names are put into the hat. Some anxious looks amongst the crowd, a little bit of nail biting going on, programmes being filled in, neighbours talking to neighbours about what's going to happen next. Carl Howarth looking pretty relaxed about what's going on. I'm sure he'll have been in this situation a few times in the past. Alfie BOWTELL there, Is he zipping up? Is he going to be asked to go again? Well, he's putting his gloves on, so he could well be the nominee. Yeah, it's an interesting choice if it's going to be him. Hard to pick a gladiator from the pack, really, to accompany Carl Howarth in this one. Team managers earn their corn, and it's at this particular moment that they put their hearts on the line and put their trust in the riders who they've got to know so well as the season builds up. Zaine Kennedy there, the man with the fantastic hairstyle there. The multicoloured mullet, really. David Howe in consultation with his skipper, Simon Lambert, and Jake Allen there. And talking over the fence to Carl Howarth. What are they plotting between them, do you think? Who knows? Is Jake going back in? Gets his lid ready. Yellow helmet on. Steve Worrall there looks like he's got the white helmet as well. Now, choice of gates also could be important here because Gladiators won the toss at the outset, kicked off with 1 and 3. Scunthorpe are going to have choice in heat number 15. And I think we can determine from those pictures that the Gladiators pairing has been determined with Carl Howarth and Alfie BOWTELL, the riders nominated to go, to see if they can prevent those Scorpions from stinging the home side here tonight and waltzing off back up north with match points. So there we go, look at that. Tents on the stands, even tenser in the pits area there, with Steve Worrall putting on the white helmet, Jake Allen putting on the yellow helmet. And all that we need to know now is which gates they're going to be taking. Intuition tells us it will probably be Scunthorpe 1 and 3, but let's wait until the riders get around to the starting gate and see where they line themselves up. Yeah, another interesting factor there is whether Kyle Howarth received a warning earlier in the meeting for movement at the States. We haven't had any official word on that yet, but if that is the case, then he, of course, comes under a little bit of extra pressure in this one. So we've got the riders at the line. Steve Worrall for the Scorpions, gate 1 in white. Kyle Howarth in red, gate 2 for the Gladiators. Jake Allen, gate 3 in yellow for the Scorpions. Gate number 4, Alfie BOWTELL in blue for the Gladiators. The final race of the schedule, potentially one more to come if this is a drawn heat, and we go to the very interesting, often criticised but now necessary superheat. Steve Worrall there allowing a little bit of fresh air into those Oakley goggles. You need a clear view and a clear head as you run to the first corner here at the Coliseum. Time ticking down. Tens of seconds becoming individual seconds. Start marshal encouraging the riders to come to tape. Steve Worrall, probably the last man to fill his position, so he does. So the starting marshal indicates that he's happy and moves away. Green lights on. What happens now? Away they go to the first corner. Steve Worrall's made the gate off the inside, clamps down the inside, round the outside comes Jake Allen, and it's going to propel him to the front. So Allen leads from Worrall with Kyle Howarth working hard to get into position, but he can't make it. Allen leads Worrall, leads Howarth. Alfie BOWTELL stranded at the back. Howarth down now on bend number 3, and I think the red lights will be on straight away. Yes, they will. So even more drama to come. Will that race be rerun? Will it be awarded? We leave it to the referee to decide, but it was certainly mega advantage Scunthorpe at that particular stage until this happened as Kyle Howarth ran into bend 3. Down he goes. Red lights on almost immediately there. Referee with a decision to make. We wait and see. Is it awarded? Is it rerun? The decision is that the race will be restarted with 3 riders only, with the rider in red, Kyle Howarth, disqualified. So, Alfie BOWTELL, cometh the time, cometh the hour, cometh the man. What can you do for the Gladiators, Alfie? Howarth getting a good round of applause from the people here at the Coliseum, but he knows as he tramps in from the far corner of the stadium that that fall has actually maybe given his side another chance, an outside chance, but a little bit big ask for Alfie BOWTELL off gate number 4 here. Now, I'm sure Garry May will have a few words in Alfie's ear before they get going. And those Scunthorpe boys, well, they'll be a little bit disappointed that the race was stopped, but interest of safety and probably not far into the race enough for it to be awarded. So referee Christina TURNBULL orders a restart with the 3 remaining riders. There's Mark Phillips having a word with Alfie. Have we got any lip readers watching the stream tonight? Perhaps they could interpret what Mark's telling Alfie there. Perhaps he said there's a win bonus if you get this one right, Alfie. Back over onto the Scunthorpe side. David Howe there just chatting with his 2 guys there. Jake Allen, pretty cool. Steve Worrall there, getting the blower treatment from Simon Lambert, and Ben Trigger there, who's been helping out on the Scunthorpe side of the pits tonight following his sacking from the Gladiators earlier in the week. He's here tonight and helping out the Kennedy brothers over on the Scunthorpe side of the pits. So there we go. Alfie BOWTELL there, just getting a tap on the shoulder. Goggles on. Deep breath. Collect your thoughts. Have a look at the gate. See what the best rut is. See what the best position is. Mitchell Cluff giving some advice there. What's going to happen? Can Alfie do it? He's got the whole of the Coliseum backing him up this time around. But 2 wily campaigners there for the Scunthorpe Scorpions. They'll know exactly what they've got to do to keep Alfie BOWTELL away from the leading position. Nothing but a win for Alfie is good enough. And the Scunthorpe boys will know that, and they'll have been plotting to put their race plan together to make sure that those race points tonight head back up to Lincolnshire, and they have an advantage to take into next Friday's second leg up there at the Eddie Wright Raceway. So there we go. Rerun, Heat 15, Steve Worrall, Gate 1, Scunthorpe. Jake Allen, Gate 3, Scunthorpe. Alfie BOWTELL, Gate 4, Gladiators. Gladiatorial effort needed from Alfie in this one against two experienced and wily campaigners who'll know all the tricks in the trade, ready to bring the bacon back to Lincolnshire. Anxious looks from people in the crowd. A few nails being bitten. Feet being tapped, jumping up and down. Alfie BOWTELL not happy with his gate position. Swings around, finds another piece of track that he wants to slide into. Ready for a jet-propelled getaway. He'll certainly need it. Can he do it? Well, we'll soon find out. Riders are at the line. Alfie BOWTELL swings across the back wheel and the front wheel nowhere near straight, but he's heading off to the apex of that first and second bend as quick as he can. Starting marshal moves away. Tapes are released. Away they go. Alfie, I'm afraid, hasn't made it. The Scunthorpe boys have. And round the outside, as in the first running, Jake Allen takes up prime position ahead of Steve Worrall. Alfie BOWTELL goes to the dirt. He's trying to find as much drive as he can to get round those Scunthorpe boys. He's kissing that air fence going down bends 1 and 2, but it's not really paying any dividends, I'm afraid. Steve Worrall now looking over his shoulder. BOWTELL's getting closer. He's doing all he possibly can. He's going wide and, as I say, kissing that barrier and almost getting up to alongside those Scunthorpe boys. Steve Worrall, though, quick look over the shoulder. Just checking position. Alfie BOWTELL's binned it, I'm afraid, going as hard as he possibly can, but just overcooking it a little bit. The checkered flag's out, as is the red lights. The race has been stopped, and with it, I'm afraid the hopes of the Gladiators have just disappeared into the dust, because Scunthorpe will take the match points tonight with a 5-0 heat result in the last race. Alfie there, well, what can you say? He gave it his everything, didn't he? He tried his absolute hardest to find some pace and some drive around the outside. But at the end of the day, well, I'm afraid the bike just gave up on him, and he ended up into the fence. Here come the Scunthorpe boys. They're home and hosed, as they say, in this one. The result's a 5-0 heat result in Heat 15. The winner is Jake Allen. Second place is Steve Worrall, yellow and white. No other finishers. So a 5-0 heat result to the Scunthorpe Scorpions, who conclude a very successful evening's work here at the Coliseum. They've come back from behind on 2 occasions to get their noses in front at just the right time. And the match finishes with the Gladiators on 42 and the Scorpions on 47, doing just what they said they would do at the start of the meeting and clock up an away win to reignite their challenge towards playoff positions in the championship. We see the riders looking there, going back to the pits, and nice gestures between all the riders there. They're meeting each other and handshakes all round, particularly for Alfie BOWTELL, who did his utmost. So there you go with the match result. It's 42 and 47, 42 Gladiators, 47 to the Scunthorpe Scorpions, on a night when we had a cloudburst during the course of the meeting. Fortunately, it didn't affect the racing too much. Good crowd in, and an evening to remember for the Scunthorpe Scorpions. If you're looking for the next away live screen with involving the Gladiators, that will be on Scunthorpe Scorpions TV, Cab Direct Championship match up there in Lincolnshire on the 11th of July, next Friday. And we hope that you can join our friends up at Scunthorpe in watching the stream to see how the Gladiators get on. Our next home live stream on Gladiators TV will be the WSRA National Trophy fixture here on the 12th of July, next Saturday, between the Centurions and the Young Stars from Kings Lynn. So that's something to look forward to. 2 nights of Speedway next week, 1 on the telly and 1 here at the Coliseum. Final scores on the night: Kyle Howarth got 10 points for the Gladiators, Alfie BOWTELL 8, Joe Thompson 5, Lasse FREDRIKSEN 7, Mitchell Cluff 7 and 1, Daniel Klima 5, total of 42. With the Scorpions, it was Steve Worrall 12 and 2 bonus, Simon Lambert 1 and 1, Declan Kennedy 3-1, Connor Mountain 5-1, Jake Allen 13-1, Luke Harrison no score tonight, and Zaine Kennedy influential at reserve with 13 points for a total of 47. With Garry May immediately after the meeting here at the Coliseum, where the Gladiators went down 42-47 against Scunthorpe. Quick summary, Garry, of how you saw that one going.
We give it all. We had one heat leader, and we had to use the 2 reserves as the RR for Ben Barker, but we didn't do bad points for Ben Barker. But we rode well, and it's just them last 2-3 races that did us, Zaine Kennedy, maybe I gave him too many guest bookings here, and that's it. But what I mean. But no, I'm quite happy with my boys, and I thought they rode really well, and the new boy rode well as well. He's not off a pace and everything. So yeah, overall I'm happy with it. But I would have liked the 2 points to push us up the league. But that's life, innit? So we go to Scunthorpe on Friday now and see what we can do there.
Yes, opportunity to come straight back at them. Ben Barker, of course, likely to be missing again. We go for a RR up there, or maybe guest?
Well, there isn't much guess, right? There's not much about, because Ben's got such a low average of only 5.22, and there's no one about really, you know what I mean? So we're either going to see who's about, or we go RR, but it's hard, isn't it? When you want to go and win somewhere, and Ben, who's a big rider, and his average is so low, it just hurts the team, hurts them bad.
In 13 and 15, Scunthorpe had 1 and 3. Did that make a difference to the outcome, do you think?
Yeah, I think it does. But like here, if you go 1 and 3 and then you're hitting them hard, and you can kill your opponents off sometimes. But then it changes and then it come back. But it's such a small track and a small run into the first bend, you know what I mean? So whoever's on 4 has really got to make a good one, you know what I mean? But it was a really good meeting tonight, and I was quite happy with the riders. And Scunthorpe rode really well. But, they got a side like 7... Number 1's 7 point, and it reserves 5, so they all can win races, you know what I mean? So, no, I'm quite happy with what happened tonight, and back to the drawing board.
So, from all of the crew, the Gladiator TV crew, with Rob Haywood on main camera, Paul Hague roaming and presenting, myself, Rob Dyer, on the standby duty tonight, the pits reporter with Mattie Bates, our outstanding producer and director Andy Hague, graphics provided by Candy Soft, rider images by Blue Monkey Media and Ian Raspin. It's from me, Rob Dyer, and all of the TV crew. Thank you for watching us on Gladiators TV. Sorry it wasn't a home win, but do join us again next time when we bring you more Speedway action from here at the Coliseum. Good night and stay safe.